that's the thing about Twitter, man. I have such a hard time. There's so many people that just sit there and post such like witty, funny, interesting things. Like Chris is a good example of this. I don't know if, I mean, he kind of like shit posts a lot, but like it's funny. And I don't have that in me. Like I don't, I've tried it a couple of times, and every time I do it, I'm like, God, this is just dumb. Like I don't know what I'm saying here.
You do though. Like if you
feel like I do.
I think I think the difference is that you don't put the time in. I think you think that somebody pulls their thing out and they write this thing in 3 minutes. And I think the reality is that these guys are spending an hour a day to create their 3 to 5 tweets, and they're putting a lot of time into it. And I think, so to me, I just like, I know how you are with emails. Like, I think that if you took the time that you would take to do a Facebook post or an email, but you made it into tweet form, I think you would freaking slay.
I've always imagined it as these people, because you're right. This is how I always do it. I pull out and I'm like, oh, I'm going to say something funny. And then I'll tweet something. And then it's like, I look at it later and I'm like, that was stupid. Why didn't I even say that? And I imagine that I've thought that that's what the people that are good at it do. They just pull something out and they just put their brain on there for display. Man, and it's like, oh, this is awesome. And so I've just been like, man, I'm just dumb compared to these people. I can't.
Well, like I'm going through this course in like my spare time, like in the evenings right now. That's like it's from a content creator that's mainly known for Twitter, but also on YouTube and other places. And it's about writing. And I actually took it just because, like, not because I want to write, I'm not going to start writing.
Right. Yeah.
But it was more about like having a better content system and like figuring out what you're going to talk about and all this. And so like, he's actually talking about like his process of like writing the content and the tweets. And like, they're putting a lot of thought in, you know, like a lot of thought into it. So at least he is, but I, you know, like I know like who he is and who the other people in his like sphere of influence are and like what the culture is in that crowd.
So that makes me feel a little better, because I've just, every time I get on Twitter, I'm like, God, I don't know what to say here. I know I can be funny sometimes, but I don't know what to do with this platform. And I honestly don't even really know what to do with the platform. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, can you drive? I don't know. I know you can do a lot with it.
Dude, you can drive a lot of traffic with it, but it takes, I guess it's like anything. Like you can drive a lot of traffic with TikTok right now. You can drive a lot of traffic with Twitter, but you have to sit, to me, like, I don't know, like video is so easy to me. Like writing, like you got to sit down and you got to do it and you got to make threads and you got to have these posts and like, I just don't, it's such a slower process for me to write than it is to do video. So like, I think Twitter, to me, it's like, this is the platform I feel like I would enjoy the most. I think back, I'm like, man, if I go back to like when I was first starting out and I had all the time in the world and I had no kids and I was just doing stuff, like I would have like really gotten into Twitter. That would have been the space I would have gone into. It just doesn't, maybe I'll go through this program and then I'll make the time for it and I'll figure it out, because it'll be like, oh, this is easy. But like, I'm sitting here, it's like, you got to sit there. You got to have your niche. You got to know exactly who you're talking about. You got to be strategic about how you get categorized. Right. And, you know, I just don't know that I have the time or the patience for that right now.